Madam, good afternoon. Your voice is not audible. Please unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, sir. Shall we start or shall we wait for the participants, sir?
No problem, madam. Start. Shall we start the session? Please share the
fine.
screen. Are you at the home? How is your?
Yeah.
How is your?
Sir, I have joined with one more ID. Please.
Yeah, madam. You join. No problem. Okay, Devi Bhavani, welcome.
Good afternoon, participants, and welcome to today's session. Yesterday we were discussing about mushroom cultivation of Agaricus bisporus, and we have stopped at the step of spawning. Okay, and what do you mean by spawning, girls? Yesterday we have discussed spawning means addition of seed related to the mushroom. Okay, spawn means it is not exactly the spore, it is the mycelium of the germinated spore, and we are taking this spawn from certified spawn producers like labs or some suppliers. Okay, and so this loosely closing the mouth. After this is the types of spawning: top spawning or thorough spawning or layer spawning. Like you can distribute the spawn as you wish. Okay, and then after you are like mixing the spawn with the compost, then what you have to do, you have to close the mouth of the bags if you are taking it in a bag, and then you have to shift the bags in cropping rooms with temperature 23 degrees, relative humidity of 95%, and carbon dioxide concentration of 1 to 1.5. Okay, so these are the conditions which you have to maintain in the room where you are trying to grow the mushroom. Okay, and for how long you have to keep it in this condition? For 12 to 14 days, and then it will be like there will be next step called as spawn run. Okay, so what is the difference between spawn and spawn run, ma? Spawn means it is the seed, and spawn run means after you are adding the spawn, there will be growth of the spawn, right? That is called as spawn run. So when this spawn run happens, or when the mycelium grows in the compost, right? What happens? There will be change of dark brown compost into light brown color. Means the color of the compost will be changing due to the production of mycelium. Next, there are some precautions which has to be followed in this spawning step. You have to use fresh pure culture spawn. Means you know very well what is pure culture. Pure culture means it is the pure form of whatever microorganism you are taking. Means there should not be any contamination. And proper treatment of spawning area and tools with formalin, and cleaning of hands with Dettol. Now this sanitization and all, we are very much aware in this pandemic period, right? We have learned many things regarding sanitation and all. So you have to maintain clean conditions, and even you can use formalin for cleaning of this equipments which are used in this mushroom cultivation. And maintaining good hygienic conditions during spawning by keeping all the doors and windows closed. It is a indoor method where you have to close the doors and windows so that outside air should not enter into the room. There is a reason here. Next, here you can see this diagram. Here they are preparing the bed, and here they are putting the spawn into the bed material and pinning of bed. Okay. After spawning, the next step is pinning. Okay. Pinning means small head-like structures will be formed in the bed. Small dots you are able to see. This is pins. And spawn running, again, it is the same. It is again the growth of the spawn, whatever you have added to the compost. Am I clear? Next, we are moving to next slide. Here, after putting this compost and adding the spawn, you are tying the bags to or beds to the you are hanging it, okay, and then you have to water them regularly to maintain a particular moisture level. And this is the pinhead formation. After this, there will be mushroom growth, which you can see in this form. See here, like this, you can plug the mushrooms, and these are packed mushrooms. Okay. There is one more step here, that is supplementation. Supplementation means what? It is addition, right? What you are adding here, already you have taken compost, then you have taken spawn, you have mixed it. Again, what is this supplementation step? It is the addition of protein-rich supplements such as cottonseed meal, soybean meal, alfalfa meal, feather meal, etc., which is found to increase the mushroom yield. Okay, even doctors suggest us to take protein shake, right? So this is a kind of giving protein shake to mushroom cultivation. We are increasing the protein content of the what do you say, this compost, by adding this extra supplements. Next, supplementation can either be done at spawning or after spawn run, before casing. Okay. In the last class also, we have seen the sequence of steps, right? First, you have to prepare the compost, and then you have to add the spawn, then you have to go for casing. Yes. So before casing, you have to add this supplements, and the later is more useful. Supplement is first grounded coarsely and denatured by treating with 5000 ppm formalin, and before it's mixing in the compost. So this is a material, protein material, which is to be added to the compost, right? By grinding it finely. You have to grind it, and the particle size has to be decreased, and then you have to treat it with 5000 ppm formalin. Why is this treatment required here? You can add as such, right? You can add it. What is the problem? But everything, every tool, whatever you are using, every material you are using here in this mushroom cultivation has to be in, what do you say, aseptic conditions. They should be sterile, right? So that is the reason why you are using formalin. Next. The practice normally increases the temperature of compost by 4 to 5 degrees. And if done at the time of spawning or in pure quality compost, it results in killing of mushroom mycelium. So this supplementation, at what temperature you have to do? 4 to 5 degrees means at lower temperatures, you have to add this supplements to the compost. But you have to make it in a aseptic condition, otherwise there will be a problem. And if these problems are overcome, supplementation can give 20 to 25% enhanced yield. Means if you are adding it in a very good way or a nice way, then there won't be any problem. Okay. And if it is done properly, your yield can be increased by how much percentage? 20 to 25% yield can be increased. Right. The supplementation is first, at casing in spawn run compost also helps in early and higher mushroom yield. So at different stages, the supplementation will give different yield. And going to the next slide, casing. Now, what is casing? Casing means it is addition of extra layer, right? Thick layer of soil on the top of the spawn run compost, and is prerequisite for fructification in Agaricus bisporus. Okay. The spawn it has grown to some extent, and then you have to go for casing. What is casing? You are adding a thick layer of soil, 3 to 4 centimeters. The thickness of casing layer should be 3 to 4 centimeters. It is a kind of soil which you are adding at the top of the spawn. So what it will do? It is helping in fructification, means the formation of mushrooms step is called as fructification. Earlier, subsoil material or organic matter rich soils were used as casing in button mushroom cultivation. So for different mushrooms, different materials are used at different steps, right? For button mushroom cultivation, they are being using subsoil material, means lower layers of soil, and organic material, which is rich organic, the soils which are rich in organic matter are also being used. But presently, peat is most desirable. Peat can be added, but in India it is not much available. So there are some alternative materials which can be used for this casing. Okay, so what we can use? Well decomposed farmyard manure, then well decomposed spent mushroom compost, and composted coir pit. Okay, so what you are able to understand with these words, ma? They are all decomposed materials. They are all decomposed materials. Okay, farmyard manure, right? It is decomposed material which is found in the farm, preferably for 2 years old. Okay, since 2 years it should be degraded, right? Spent mushroom compost, it is also a decomposed material. And coir pit, you understand very well, coir industry, industrial waste, it is waste from coir industry. And also in combination also we are able to use this materials, that is 1:1, 2:1, or 1:2 volume by volume of farmyard manure or spent mushroom compost. Means you can use the mixture of these two materials in different ratios. Hope I'm clear to all of you. Okay, next. Along with here 1:1 volume by volume of farmyard manure and spent mushroom compost can also be used, composted with coir pit. So all the three materials we can use. Decomposed powdered bark of some forested trees. Bark, you understand, no? It is the outermost layer of the tree. So that powdered bark also we can use as a casing material, and paper industry waste is also being used. And apart from this, we can use burnt rice husk along with decomposed farmyard manure in seasonal cultivation of button mushroom in Haryana and Punjab with reasonable success. Okay, means rice husk is also being used. Next, quality of casing material. So what should be the quality? Soft texture must be there. It should be lightweight, and water holding capacity should be more. Porosity should be more. Porosity means pores. And deficient in available form of carbon and nitrogen, means there should not be high concentration of this carbon and nitrogen, and pH should be neutral, and low conductivity should be there for the material which we are using. Now, what is the treatment which has to be done for this material? It should be treated properly before its application, like making a heap of casing material, wetting it up to 50 to 60% water holding capacity, then filling in trays, then pasteurizing, then auto cooling. Means like for compost, whatever we have done, that steps. Okay, similar steps we have to do for casing also, casing material also. Okay, means we have to take it, we have to make it a heap, we have to add water, and then we have to fill it in trays, and then we have to go for pasteurization. After cooling, we can use it as a casing layer. Next. Here, formalin can also be added for pasteurization. And after this addition of formalin and mixing with the shovel, we can even cover the heap of this casing material with a polythene sheet so that it can protect it from contamination, and keep the material for 24 to 48 hours in sun for fumigation effect. If you can put it in the sun for this much 2 days, 1 or 2 days, this fumigation will be done. The bacteria, whatever organism, unwanted microbes present in the this material can be killed by the formalin treatment. Next. So after that, whatever polythene sheet you have covered that heap, so that sheet must be removed and the material should be exposed to open air. Then sunlight by spreading over with the clean tools and permitting the formalin fumes. So means in the initial stages when you have added the formalin, so it has its own effect of killing the microorganisms, right? Then if you are using this casing material as it is on the mushroom bed, then this formalin which is present in the casing material, it may also kill the mushroom, right? So that formalin has to go out. For that, you have to mix this heap again so that formalin can, that fumes can come out of this material. They can escape into the air 2 to 3 days before it is used as casing. So you have to wait for 2 to 3 days so that formalin fumes can be removed completely. Then you have to go for casing. Unfold the fully spawn run bag and make the top surface even by gentle pressing with hands. Means you have to add this material on the bed and you have to spread it evenly. Next. Casing application. Here we have to take light spray of water on spawn run compost. Then application of 4 to 5 centimeter thick layer of casing uniformly, uniform height or wooden blocks, water spray in installments immediately after casing application. Means ultimately what you are doing, you are taking the material, you are sterilizing it or pasteurizing it, you are adding onto the mushroom bed and you are spreading it evenly. That's and some more precautions are there for this casing material. The sieves, you should not use any sieves, like the particle size of this casing material should be more enough to maintain air spaces. Okay, and care should be taken to prevent reinfection of the casing materials. So already you have added the formalin, you have done pasteurization, but after that also you have to be careful so that contaminants cannot enter again into the casing material. Store casing material in a sterilized or clean room before used in the polythene bags. Okay, and apply water to casing in a few installments so that water does not run into the spawn run compost. You have to add a required amount of water regularly to the material. And pinhead formation. This step is also called as pinning, P-I-N-N-I-G. Okay, so what is pinning? It is nothing but a formation of small heads. Even in the last previous slides we have seen small mushrooms will be grown on the surface of the compost. Case run is done at a temperature of 24 degrees and relative humidity of 95% and carbon dioxide is more than 7,500 ppm. Here, one more thing you have to remember, in the initial stages of mushroom cultivation, carbon dioxide concentration should be high. Initial stages, carbon dioxide concentration should be high. In the later stages, it has to be low. So likewise, in whatever stages it is required in higher concentration, you have to maintain in the higher concentration. And later, after fructification, at that stage or during the fructification or during the mushroom formation, the later stages, you have to decrease the carbon dioxide content. Okay. And here, as carbon dioxide content requirement is more, there is no requirement of oxygen. So no fresh air requirement is there. And after case run, environmental conditions are changed by bringing down the temperature to 15 to 17 degrees, relative humidity to 85%, and carbon dioxide to 800 to 1000 ppm by opening of fresh air ventilation and exhausting carbon dioxide. Okay, so once this case run or after you have added the casing material, then the mushroom will grow on the top of the casing material and that mushroom will come out. That head part and stripe part, it will come out. Okay, so after that, there have to be changes made in the conditions of temperature, relative humidity, and carbon dioxide concentration. So whatever change you are making in environmental parameters, it will induce pinhead formation in 3 to 4 days. Okay, when these parameters are changed, then pinning will be formed, pins will be formed. Next, at this stage, the air inside the cropping room is changed 4 to 6 times in an hour to maintain appropriate carbon dioxide concentration. As carbon dioxide is at its peak during first flush. Okay, now you have to understand what is this term flush. Flush means it is the crop production of the mushroom you are getting. Means like if you are putting seeds in for the production of wheat or rice. Okay, one cycle you will put the seed in the field, one cycle you will get the crop. Okay, but for mushrooms, you are doing the spawning once only, but you will get 4 to 5 crops here. Okay, so each crop is called as flush. Each crop is called as flush. Okay, next, see this small mushrooms are growing, and whatever this or the soil is there now, what is that? It is nothing but casing material. Okay, next, ruffling. Ruffling means you are mixing with hand. Generally speaking, ruffling means you are mixing the material with the hand. You are disturbing it. This practice is particularly useful for round the year cropping when 5 to 6 crops are taken per year and cropping period is reduced to about 4 weeks. This helps in exhaustion of compost earlier than normal. So you have to mix the compost at regular intervals. That is required for getting good mushroom crop. Next, watering. So as literature says, 90% of mushroom is water. Okay, means yeah, water requirement is there for mushroom production. And likewise, when we are preparing the compost, water we have to add. For casing also we have to add water to maintain the relative humidity at 80 to 85%. Okay, we have to use regular spray. And if a relative humidity comes down, means humidity decreases, then what happens? Beds will dry out, and mushrooms, even if they are produced, they will be of lightweight, and you can also see discoloration of mushrooms, and crop loss will also be there. And if casing is not properly done, or casing is dried, okay, due to reduction in humidity or water content is reduced, then casing material, whatever you have added, it will become dry and it will form a mat kind of thing. Okay, so when mat formation take place, it will become impervious to water, and then crop loss can be there. Here for mushroom, 2 things are important: water and air also. Next, casing should be wet enough when fresh air is brought in and room temperature is lowered. You are adding no water at every step. Wetness should be sustained till pin heads become pea-sized. This is the stage when bed will require additional watering to allow pea-sized pins to develop into button-sized mushroom. So there are different stages for the mushroom production. Okay, first pin size, then pea size, then bigger mushroom. Okay, so once you are getting pinhead size mushrooms, then you have to increase the water content of this compost, and then you will get this mushrooms to a larger size. Watering to beds requires monitoring it at each stage. It doesn't mean whatever amount of water can be added. It is always a calculated practice. You have to add water in a calculated amount, so that whatever humidity is required to be maintained, it should be maintained properly. Jyoti, please mute your mic. Jyoti. Okay. Next, relative humidity in the cropping room is monitored by using dry and wet bulb thermometers. So how to check the humidity? You can use bulb thermometers, and water used for irrigation on mushroom beds should be clean, neutral in pH. See, again, whatever you are using here, it should be aseptic in condition, means it should not have any microorganisms. Similarly, water also, it should be of pure form. It should not have any microorganisms, or it should not have any salts or heavy metals or impurities, and even the pH of water should be neutral. So much care has to be taken at every step. And water should be good enough for drinking or watering for vegetables is also good for mushroom cultivation. It is desirable to test the quality of water before the mushroom growing is started at a particular site. So whatever water you're going to use, it has to be tested for all the conditions. Next, cropping. Cropping is the final step of the mushroom cultivation. In this step, as I told you, the meaning of the flush. What is flush? Can anyone answer? Yes, I told you just now. What is flush? It is the crop we are getting at one time. Okay, so this break or bloom, these are synonyms for flush. So we can get 3 to 5 times or 3 to 4 times of this flush in a one bed. Repeating 3 to 5 day harvest periods during cropping cycle, followed by few days, no mushrooms are available for harvest. Here you can understand, like you have got the bed, you have added everything, you have got the mushrooms also, growth, you have taken the mushroom, you have removed that mushroom, whatever you have got. Okay, for a few days there won't be any growth. After few days again mushrooms will grow. That is second flush. Again you will cut that mushrooms, then after few days again it will grow. That is third flush. Okay, and harvest is done at 35 to 42 days period, and for some varieties in some areas it may go even up to 60 to 150 days. And temperature of the air should be maintained at 13 to 16 degrees, and relative humidity must be high, but it should not be very high that mushrooms become sticky, right? Each week watering must be done at 2 to 3 times at this cropping stage, and water quantity depends on the dryness of casing variety of mushroom, stage of mushroom development. So just now I told you, whatever water you are adding, it should be in a calculated amount. Okay, so what does it mean? It depends. So how much water you have to add, it is all calculated based on what type of mushroom you are growing, what type of material is taken for the compost, for casing material, and at what stage of mushroom production you are adding water. So all these factors are important for adding a calculated amount of water. And if water excess, what happens? Casing seal, prevent exchange of gases. Just now we have seen, no, whatever material is there in the casing material, it will become a mat, and it will seal, or it will prevent the exchange of gases. And after first break, 90% of mushrooms in water. Okay, here there is some calculation. Suppose you got the mushroom crop, you have cut the mushrooms from the bag. Here, if you got 100 lbs mushroom, lbs means it's a weight. So then how much water you have to add for second harvest? Means in 100 lbs mushrooms weight, around 90 lbs water is there. If you are saying 90% of mushroom is water, then 90 lbs water might have lost from the bed. So you have to add 90 lbs water for the second harvest. So here we are moving on to the next topic, that is factors affecting mushroom production. Sir, how much time is left? Hello? Tirupati sir? Okay, at least we can study about one factor. Right. Factors means, what are the different factors which can affect mushroom farming? There can be extrinsic factors or intrinsic factors. As the name suggests, what is extrinsic? Extrinsic means external factors. What is intrinsic? Intrinsic means internal factors. Okay. Extrinsic factors includes temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide level, light, pests and pathogens, air exchange and treatment. So these are all external factors which are influencing the mushroom production. And what are the internal factors? It is the composition of the substrate, whatever substrate you are taking for the compost or casing material, and what nutrients are present in this substrate, what is the pH in the bed, what is the particle size maintained here, how much moisture you have added, and what is our percentage of oxygen inside the production room or in the bed. Okay, so these are all extrinsic and intrinsic factors, external and internal factors responsible for mushroom farming. So let us study at least about one factor today, that is temperature. So as I am saying since the first slide, this temperature plays an important role in the mushroom production. Okay, so there are different groups like cold, warm, and hot conditions. You can define them by different temperatures. Each mushroom species has its own optimal range. Okay, you know, there are many nine number of mushrooms, right? So for different mushrooms, different temperature range is required. So you have to have idea of what mushroom you are growing, how much temperature it requires, right? No pinhead formation takes place. If there is a problem in the temperature maintenance, then what happens? Pins won't be formed, pinheads won't be formed. What is this pinhead? It is a stage in the mushroom production. Next, fruit body development takes longer, which can increase the risk of contamination. If you are not maintaining proper temperature throughout the cultivation process, what happens? That fruiting body or the mushroom last stage production or formation will take longer time. As long the time exceeds, there are more chances of getting contamination. And air temperature inside the room can be manipulated with using of cooling or heating coils in air handling unit. So wherever they are growing these mushrooms, they are using some equipment. That equipment is called as air handling unit. Emantarama? Air handling unit. So it has to be installed inside or outside the cropping room for climate control. Right? మనం కూలర్స్ పెడతాం కదా సమ్మర్లో అట్లా. అండ్ ఇండిపెండెంట్ AHU ఇస్ డిజైరబుల్ ఫర్ ఈచ్ క్రాపింగ్ రూమ్. ప్రతి రూమ్ కి ఒక ఎయిర్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ యూనిట్ అనేది ఉండాలి. And an independent AHU is desirable for each cropping room, and inside contains a set of cooling coils, heating coils, relative humidity fogging jets, and centrifugal blower fan for blowing the conditioned air into the cropping room. It is similar to our cooler or our hot air oven which we are having in the lab, right? There will be some coils, cooling coils, heating coils, okay, and fans will be there which will blow out this water, whatever air is maintained here. And this is installed on the top of the entry of door. At the entrance it can be installed, and like cooling coils are there, no, they'll take water from chilled water, and heating coils will take warm water. So the cooling requirement will depend on compost quantity fed inside the room, outside prevailing temperature, insulation on the walls, etc. So we need some around 20 to 23 degrees temperature, no? So how this temperature is maintained? It is maintained by this AHU or by insulation of the walls, or adding water to the walls and floor, etc. Blower fan blows the conditioned air, and fresh air into the room goes via AHU through a control valve. Okay, so water must be sterile, so air must also be sterile, which can be passed through AHU. Spawn run. During spawn, there should not be any fresh air entering into the room. And this is the different temperature requirement for different mushrooms for fruiting stage, last stage. What it requires? Sheetek mushroom, it requires 16 to 18 degrees. Pink oyster mushroom, 20 to 30 degrees. So these are all temperature requirements for different mushrooms. Here I am ending the session because time is up, I think. Tirupati sir? Okay, you tell me how many are from GDC Jagityal today? One? Only one? Shravanti? Unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You have to ask your friends to join for tomorrow's session. Okay. Still, I have to take for 2 to 3
Okay,
days,
madam.
I believe. And I am here
Okay,
for
ma'am.
you people. Okay. My students are also there, but they are with me. I can teach them anytime. But you are special for us because I can't interact every day with you. Right? You have to invite your friends for attending the session.
Okay, ma'am.
And any doubts? Bhavani, Jyoti, Shravanti, ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
ఓకే.
Okay, madam, thank you very much.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. నేను మళ్ళీ వేరే ఫ్యాక్టర్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే ఇంకా ప్రొలాంగ్ అవుతుందని అక్కడే ఆగాను.
No problem, madam, no problem. No problem. Time kuda అయిపోవచ్చింది.
యా యా.
Okay, madam.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.